Hello everybody, and welcome to a new mobile episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. If you are hearing some sort of a fan, just know that that is in fact my air conditioning. Or no, what's air conditioning but hot? My heat, the heat of my car. In the past week, since we've talked last, I have used both my air conditioning and my heat thing. How convenient that they come out of the same vents. Like that one vent can do both. We have to really acknowledge that vent in our cars really puts in the work, because it can warm you up and it can cool you down. Now, I find that it doesn't really do either. For me personally, I usually run a bit cold, so in the winter I will often have the heat on. There we go, I finally got it. And by in the winter I mean it could be April like it is now, almost May, and I'm still running the heat. But then last week I was using the air conditioning. So I don't really know what I'm saying or the point that I'm trying to make. All I'm saying is I appreciate the vent in my car, and I hope to one day be as versatile and as helpful as it, even though I just called it not helpful. But listen, it can't do everything. It's like the menu at Red Robin, you know? Like, you have to accept that maybe some of the things aren't going to be the best. And I love Red Robin, but they have such an expansive menu that not one particular thing is going to be amazing, because they've gotten a B on everything. That's my motto. I am an expert in nothing, but I'm decent at a good amount of things, and I like it that way. Now, I guess it doesn't have to be one or the other. I guess there's a world where you could be great at everything, but then you're just bragging. So don't be that person. Anyway, what do I have to update you on? I just went into a Subway, not the mode of transportation. I went into a Subway restaurant and I asked if they had coffee, and they did not. So that's sort of how my morning's going. Now, I have had a coffee and some sort of an energy drink today, so I don't know why I was so desperate enough to want more coffee that I was willing to ask a sandwich shop for it. And I'm really not even particularly a coffee person. I think I just like holding a paper cup. Which, can we be honest, what is the environmental... Oh, I think it's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, everybody. If that's one thing we can agree on, well, apparently not. But you would think one thing we could all agree on is let's all take care of the earth. But I think, unfortunately, people have some dissenting opinions on the level of which we have to care. What's Greta doing these days? Did she ever get her Nobel Peace Prize? I feel like she's always getting arrested for protesting. I don't know. Shout out if you or someone you know knows Greta. We gotta help her out, because the poor thing, she's trying... Sorry, not poor thing like I'm trying to make her sound like, oh, sweetie. She's done incredible work. Where is the Greta Thunberg Lifetime original made-for-TV movie? Because if that hasn't happened yet, it needs to. And I would watch it. I don't know how many... Have they done... Okay, does anyone know what I'm talking about? Those, crappy made-for-TV movies where it's for some reason they're able to make them and not get sued. They had the Prince Harry one, and then they did I think there was a Justin Timberlake one. Maybe that was the Britney Spears one. I'm not sure. They did a Whitney Houston one. They did an Aaliyah one, and it was how is this legal? Who authorized this? They're very much unauthorized. And then they also love to do murderers. They love to do fictionalized, not fictionalized, inspired by, I can't even think of a murderer, but someone who's actually on trial. the Lifetime TV channel loves to make made-for-TV movies, but they specifically like to strike when the iron's hot. Now the problem is, if you touch a hot iron, you're gonna get burned. And their burnt is that they'll make the movie before the trial has even ended, because they can film these movies. They film these movies 3 weeks in Vancouver for like $5 with maybe like one of those old like flip cams and a prayer, and they can turn it around in the editing room in a month, and it is on TV before whomever has even gotten sentenced. So what's funny about that is, if you watch those movies every few years, they actually get a few seconds longer, because they have to add more of that black screen with the white text explaining what happened, because there keeps being updates. So it'll be like, the first time the movie comes out, it just ends with nothing. And then you watch it again, and it's like, so-and-so was sentenced to 7 years in jail. And then you're like, oh shoot. And then you watch it again. I guess murder, you'd get more than that, hopefully. But then you watch it again in a year, and it's like a few seconds longer. And obviously no one would notice that, but it's because it now says, so-and-so was sentenced to 7 years in jail. So-and-so was acquitted. And then in the following year, you watch it again, and it's even a few more seconds longer, because it said so-and-so was sentenced to 7 years, then was acquitted, then is now under retrial, and it's just like updates and updates and updates and updates. I don't know whose job it is to update a movie that has already come out, but I appreciate it. I would imagine it's the same type of career path as someone who runs the social media for a TV show that no longer is on. Like, if you go to, like, I don't know, what's a show that's canceled or ended? I don't know. Breaking Bad. Someone still runs the Breaking Bad social media page. And they like, and it's a lot of like, happy birthday to this cast member who was in one episode for a guest starring role once 15 years ago, because there's literally nothing else to update us about. The show is in fact over. The show has ran its course, yet there's still someone on the payroll doing freaking Twitter posts. I recently realized I don't use AI. Like, do you know when people are like, oh, let me just chat GPT it? I don't have that. Is that an app? No, I obviously know what chat GPT is, but like, I really don't use it. And I don't know whether to be proud, feel stupid, or some combination of the two. I think I'm going to go with option C. Some combination of the two. Because here's the thing. In one way, I'm like, yeah, I don't need you, robots. But in the other way, I'm like, well, is everyone just going to be, if not smarter than me, like more efficient than me? Because I'm still over here, Googling stuff like an idiot. Do you think Google's scared of AI? Actually, Google probably has made their own AI. I'm almost positive that they have. Because if I need to know something, I Google it. But I feel like these kids now, the whatever the gen is after me, although I think, no, if you're being born now, are you still Gen Z? I feel like no. I feel like there had to have been, like, I'm Gen Z, I feel like, so there's got to be like, I think maybe there's like one or two more. How long is a gen? Has anyone asked that? Like, what is the cutoff? Also, are these like scientific terms? Like, how particular is like the birth years of these generations, and who decides them? Because it's not me, I'll tell you that much. That's all I know for certain. No one has consulted me about much of anything, which is fine. I accept it. That's okay. It is what it is. I'll just sit here and eat my peanut butter toast. But like, at some point, I would like some sort of input into these global affairs that really seem, I don't know, like, also, it's like, who makes the decisions on daylight savings? Like, is there a daylight savings, excuse me, the road is bumpy. Is there a daylight savings board? In which case, like like, how often do you really need to meet? Maybe that's more like pro bono. I also, maybe a resolution of mine for not 2026, but maybe 2027 would be, let's try and get on some sort of a board. I would like to be a board member. Are you stopping for me or the pedestrian? Thank you. Yeah, I would like to be on a board of something, to feel important and to feel like I matter. So, there's that. Anyway, what else is going on this week? Let us see. Where should I park today? Oh, this person parked awkwardly. I don't want to park next to them. Okay, I mean, no offense. Okay, I found a spot. We're good. Okay. What do we have on the docket for today? In terms of weather. The weather, again, I don't mean to just, chat about the weather. Chat GPT about the weather. But, like, the weather is giving us something to chat about. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep yawning. Actually, I do know why I keep yawning. I woke up at 2:45 a.m. That's a whole nother story. Is it considered having trouble sleeping if you still sleep 7 hours, you just went to bed at 7, but then woke up at 3? Because I am tired because I've been up for like more hours than I usually would have been at this point. But I also can't use the excuse of like, oh my gosh, I went to bed so late. I was up, working on that project. Like I wasn't. I was fully like dead to the world at 8 p.m. But it's because the day before I woke up at 4. So it's like, I'm just on a different schedule than everybody else. I'm going to name the episode that. 1 second, everybody. If there was a job that was just naming podcast episodes, I really think that's the one job that might allow me to get out of the, Red Robin, B at everything classification. Because I am not great at it, but decent. A-. Okay, what was I calling this episode? I can't remember. I just typed in old. Okay. What was I talking about? Okay, maybe I wouldn't be good at this job. What did I just say I was going to name this episode? Because I just typed in old, but I don't remember why I typed it. I typed that. Okay, we're sticking with it. This episode is just called Old. Actually, maybe that's the title. Okay, ready? 1 sec. Here we go. It's not letting me. Okay. This episode is just titled... Is titled a word? A word? A wordle? Is there 2 T's in titled? Or I guess, is there 3 T's in titled? It's just titled Old. Okay. There we go. And not to brag, the last 2 weeks you could argue recorded these episodes late, those episodes late. This one will be, as far as I'm concerned, right on time. Lickety split. It'll be on your iTunes app. I will give it to the Spotify headquarters at the intended time of 11:59 on Wednesday night. Not that Spotify is waiting on me, but that'd be cool if they were. If they were like, oh, you know what's missing on our platform? Where is this freaking episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast? My goodness. He used to be so consistent until he took that random hiatus that was sort of unexplained, but then like hinted at why. But then like 3 people listen anyway. Like it's just there's a whole thing going on at Spotify headquarters. But anyway, shout out to them. And if you've listened to this, shout out to you. which if you're listening to this means you have listened to this, or at least have listened to some of this. So consider yourself shouted out. I appreciate it if you have listened. If you liked what you've listened to, you can go to podcast.nobodyaskedforthis.podbean.com. If you don't like what you listen to, you can go to podbean.com and hopefully you can find another show that you'd like better, by all means. Otherwise, have a great week. I would say stay warm or stay cool, but I think you might have to do both, so do both. In whatever climate you're in. Do neither, I don't know, whatever feels right. And, I will talk to you all next week. Hopefully on time as well. Let's see if I can get 2 in a row. Who knows? Okay. Take care. Here I go. Goodbye.